Hello to all my friends out there. I hope everyone is doing okay. I hope everyone is being careful with their money. Okay, these are my Dr. Peeper sunglasses. These are so cute. See how cute these are? But I really can't sell them because they're vintage and there's a couple scuffs on the lens and stuff. So if I try to sell those on eBay, I could open myself up for a refund. So I try to avoid that. Now, I've been watching Freakie Eaters, and one of the Freakie Eaters inspired my car lunch. All she would do is drink Diet Coke and white bread. And I was watching that, I thought, wow, that looks good. That's a good car meal, not too messy, cost effective. So I drove over here to Walmart and there was only 3 loaves left. I mean, really, I want to be a Freakie Eater. So there was 4 loaves. So I went through the loaves, I inspected the loaves to get the largest loaf. Why bake bread if you can buy this stuff? Obviously someone was. Yes, now the Freakie Eater would just eat a small bite of white bread. And she would carry 2 liters of Coke with her at all times. I usually carry mine in big gulps. Okay, I got ready to come out and do the video. And this reminded me of something. Let's see, I want to cover the address because, I don't want to say, here's my house. They left this on my door. One of the units is coming up, available. Well, what happened about 2 months ago, the reservoir behind us let off water, and it's probably one of those. It is my opinion that it is not a good time to buy right now. If you guys live in the East County, I would definitely consider these guys. I heard that 1% to 2% of realtors make all the money in real estate. I can kind of see why. This unit is coming soon. Okay, my neighbors sold, and at that time there was 2 units, and they said one needed about $30,000 renovations. And so I was lucky. The people who bought next to me are a nice military family, so I couldn't be happier about that. So I have learned my lesson. I lived in apartments that invested more time trying to get me to move out than get me to move in. Stability is the key. That is the key. Yeah, I'm liking this Freakie eating. This will do. I remembered when I bought this, I used to eat this in the shop. So I would have this French bread with me. And if we were busy and I started getting very hungry, I would just, while I was mixing up the color, I would run and eat some bread, some of this bread. I like it. Now, so the car living has been going on since the first of the year, and it's hard to say how much money I've saved and how much wear and tear I have saved on my dwelling because I'm not in it. And yesterday I was trying to find plants, and that was impossible. I need to branch out. Maybe today I'm going to go to Home Depot. I'm trying to do a year-round garden, and I'm looking for a small greenhouse. My small greenhouse is kind of like a house. I think the real estate is going to tank 50%. Now here's what I'm watching for. All right, here's what I'm watching for. I'm not spending. I spent a whole year stockpiling food, but if you haven't, you can still stockpile food little by little. So one time during a very bad recession, now this is the time you want to buy. On a Friday night, I saw an ad in the paper, and it was rent to own because no one could secure loans because the interest was high. So I went to my bank and I got $3,500 out, and I put in my little purse, and I went over to look at this house, and there was a lot of people milling all over the house, and the owner was there. And so what he wanted was $20,000 out of the house. I don't know if he inherited it or if he was flipping it. And so I said to him, well, I could give you $3,500 right now. So evidently he needed the cash, and he looked at his wife and he said, well, you know, the kids want to go to Disneyland. And so he said, okay, come over to my house tonight. And so he was Mormons. They were Mormons, and I was a Mormon. I was raised Mormon. I was a Jack Mormon. I don't want to we're going to be talking about deceptive YouTubers in a minute. Okay, so I gave him the $3,000, and we went over to the house, and the deal was we would pay the loan payments, and we would pay him $20,000 any way he wanted. And so I bought this house. So and at that time, things were really bad. I've been through some bad recessions, and no one could even cash their paychecks. Years later, I realized that I was actually guaranteeing my own paychecks in my own bank to cash the paychecks. And when I took the checks to their bank, because I didn't want to put them in my bank and guarantee them, it was a big hassle. So, you know, this was before, let's see, I'm 66, so it was 3-4 years ago. So things have been on a decline for a while. So I got this house, a little house. It was a pretty nice house, and because nobody had any cash. So I said, okay, now is the time to hoard your cash. Okay, as the inflation goes up, the more people have less money because the cost of living is gobbling every dime up. So if you have stockpiled food for the last year, then you should be in theory, you should be able to save money. But let's say you didn't stock up food and you were willing to save that money. You could go to the food bank, you could get the food, and I have been watching it. Now, we're going to be talking about surviving prolonged hardship. If you knew in the future a few $1,000s could really save you or help you take that step up to a house, and you know, go get the food banks. A lot of the working poor can easily qualify for food stamps, EBT. And the pantries, I was surprised. You know, I went to the Adventist church over here. I will be going back not until the variant passes. But they told me that most of the people that take advantage of their pantry are their members. And I thought, wow, aren't you supposed to be, you know, walking in the way? But, you know, that's not always possible. So so here is what I'm watching for. A retraction in real estate. Okay, right now they're saying, and I posted a video on my Twitter. I posted a lot of recipes and stuff on my Twitter, that the median house price in San Diego is $1 million. That means nothing. That just means that all the filthy rich people who have the big fat mansions, you know, are affecting the overall price. But those will retract as well, probably about 50%. So I've been through one of these retractions. I told you guys about it. Gas shortage. I've been through the gas shortage. There was no gas shortage. We were waiting in line. We were, you know, I would get up at 5 or 6 in the morning, and I would wait in line. Oh, it was miserable too. One time in this pouring down rain. High interest rates. Yes, right now they're low. Will they stay low? Not indefinitely. Another thing is they can tighten the credit up, and even if it is low, it could be very difficult to borrow money. That's why several years ago, one of the bankers told me to up my credit limits, and I did, and I told everybody I knew, My ex-husband went at that time and refinanced his mother's house for 1%, which was not easy to do. It was a lot of hassling, but he managed to do it. And I told everyone, and they said, that is not possible. I go, my husband just did it. Stock market retraction, yes. Okay, I have a stock for you. It is a crypto stock, and I heard it from Michael Jaco. That's not why I think it's a pretty good little crypto stock. Well, that's where I heard it. But I took a look, and at one point there had been a spike. It started out very, very cheap, cents, and it took it spiked, and then it dropped down to only a few cents, but it spiked at $2. I think it's about $1 now. So it may not be the end all and be all of crypto, but it could get you going in the crypto. So OX crypto, OX. Stock market retraction. So I would expect a pullback on OX because it happened before. The trick is you don't know when it's going to spike, when it's going to climb that hill and drop. Housing retraction, yes. Food shortages. Okay, we had toilet paper shortages. As to whether they were real or not, one of the things when they want to do, probably because their inventory is low, they take the shopping carts out of it. There's no shopping carts. That is irritating. How are you supposed to buy stuff? These are all the stuff we're watching for. Food shortages, weather events. Yes, we're seeing those. And then these last two, I don't want to say here. The last two. We have seen these. So we're on the alert. We're stockpiling, and that is one of the reasons. Those are some of the things that can happen to us. That's what we're protecting ourselves against. Okay, so I want to say, do I have enough water? Well, what I'm going to do is just buy some water daily and refill my water at the kiosk. So I'm always increasing by 2. Okay, so I made in the past week or so you can still find the videos, flour tortillas, skillet bread, cheese, and peanut butter. I made sunflower butter. Okay, all the seeds would be good for making peanut butter if you have a blender or a food processor, except for walnuts, really. But the food banks are giving a lot of nuts, and it's possible to make almond milk or cashew milk. So that needs to be learned. You can make oatmeal milk. You can make rice milk. You just boil the rice and the oatmeal and the water as the milk. Here is the sunflower seed, and you can use peanuts. I bought a package of sunflower seeds. I stockpiled seeds too, and I noticed on these food hauls they're giving a lot of seeds. Okay, so you toast your seeds first. That's all you gotta know there. Then you blend them in the blender until they're pretty much pulverized. Then you add the rest of the ingredients, and if you're not getting a creamy enough peanut butter, add a tiny more bit of coconut oil, which is supposed to be protective against the virus. I would say vinegar, lemon, and lime as well. And then make yourself some peanut butter out of your peanuts. So I have been comparing and contrasting the HelloFresh with the food bank food, trying to come up with something reasonable. Okay, I noticed on the food bank food, it is high in carbs and high in sugary packages of food. So that's what they give you because that's what they have, but it's not necessarily the best thing for you, but it'll do. Okay, so now the number one thing I would say to stockpile is milk, because then you could make cheese. Okay, so milk, eggs, bacon. Okay, with the bacon and with the bacon you can make gravy. pork, sausage, chicken, and hamburger. You can make gravy if you have milk. Rice and potatoes. And then if you buy, say, a few of these dollar loaves of bread, this one is not the freshest one I've ever gotten. I think they were all bought out. So rice and potatoes. So milk, bread, eggs, cheese. So you have, if you have milk, you can make cheese. If you have eggs, you can have eggs and bread. Okay, I was watching videos from China, you know, when they were locked in. And there was this lady, and all she had in the house was pickles and peanuts. Okay, this is a bad scene. Here in America, I would say if you are getting to some kind of point like that, you would ask your neighbors. Most of the neighbors are not going to let you starve. I don't know what kind of neighbors people have, though. You have to be careful with that, though, because, you know, the neighbors could be... My neighbors, I'm not sure they're keeping food in the house. It looks like they buy their food, like they get meals that come and, you know, they eat out. It seems like, so they might not be a good resource. But here in this town, there is pantries and food banks 7 days a week. Okay, I want to talk to you about the deceptive nature of YouTubes. Okay. When you see a YouTuber that looks like they're living the wealthy life in a motel or a hotel, that is suspect. When your eyes tell you that this poor person is not that poor, Deceptacon. So it's crazy. It's like, okay, you know how people love to be terrified in my screen is going black. My phone doesn't like being hot. People love to be terrified in horror movies. People these days love to be deceived. They know it, but they love it. So I've been watching these videos, and they're actually very good. It's a spin on the Mideast end of times, and they will say people will believe a lie, and they will not believe the truth. I think that's true. Okay, so now, so I'm watching these deceptive videos, and I'm saying to myself, you know, I used to work on these good areas, and I used to work on a lot of wealthy people, and they do not live in motels, not even. Okay, so now, so I want to give you my 7 cheap dinners, then I'm going to wrap it up for today. Hamburgers, potatoes and gravies, and green beans. Spam, potato, and green beans. Tacos, spaghetti, barbecued chicken in the oven, potatoes and corn, macaroni and cheese, hot dogs or fish sticks, bacon and eggs, sausage, bacon or sausage gravy. All right, here it is. And then I have one more thing I want to mention, and it's taking care of your stuff. Okay, I'm not super careful with my stuff, but I'm not super destructive with my stuff. When I worked in the salons, you know, they would pull their, you know, some of our equipment was expensive, and they would pull it out with the cord instead of removing it. You know, and they were just always losing and breaking and soiling and damaging their stuff. And so over time, that costs you money. And then they would have to resort to stealing because they don't have it and they need it to work. So I just want to mention one more thing because it just about popped into my mind. I had a neighbor that at the beginning of his month loaded his house down with hamburger helpers. He had 5 kids, and by the end of the month they were all gone. So that's another possibility. Okay, you guys, I will see you later. If you have any good comments on like money saving tricks or how to get through this recession, leave it under comments because we read the comments. The comments have been nice, really, for the most part. I cannot complain. Please like, but if you're really bad, you might experience a pushback. comment, and subscribe, and God bless you all.